what's up? So today is March 17th, 2025. It's 8:01 p.m. Need to go to bed 1 minute ago. All good. But my whole day is complete. Just need to finish the show, right about to upload it, and then prepare for tomorrow. So all that consists of is getting my clothes ready for tomorrow and brush my teeth, taking my contacts out now. That's pretty much it. I think ideally I'd like to shower every night before bed, but I like to shower in the morning. I feel like it wakes me up quite a bit. So I don't want to shower twice. I don't need to shower twice. Just, if I shower tonight, showering tomorrow would be, I don't know. People do that though. Anyway, so today is day 28 of Blade-2. So I just have to do 2 more role plays. I have to wake up on time 2 more days in a row, which I feel better when I do that anyway. I only feel like shit when I don't, because I know it's just the first commitment or the first promise that I break to myself every morning if I hit snooze. Every morning, if I start the day off by not getting out of bed when my alarm goes off, it just sets the tone for the day to be ass. So it's just the quickest way to break a promise to myself. So I'll probably continue doing that. I will continue doing that. And it means so 1 more role play, getting out of bed on time means if I want to be late somewhere, not that I want to be late, but if I don't have to be on time anywhere, still definitely want to strive to do that. I think it's very important. But if I'm running 5 minutes behind, I don't have to shit my pants and risk wrecking my car so that I don't have to fail this goddamn first Blade cycle. So that's pretty exciting. And then with the rigor, that's ongoing, never changes, never stops. So, holy shit. Can't believe we did it. See, what's cool? So doing some doing some reflection here. I remember, so what episode would it be? Let me think about this. Started Blade-2 again, so 28 episodes ago. So that puts us, I want to see something really quick. I remember I was talking about how I didn't really want to start the Blade up again when I did, but I'm glad I did. So 28 episodes ago would be 506, 486. Okay, let's go there. We're on call with Meetup, podcast, behind the scenes, pricing, green. Oh, so it's, I was right, 488. Blade-2, day 1. I restarted Blade-2 today, knocked out my morning routine, picked up trash, kept focused. I also got kind of... Whoa, what? Also, I got contacts for the first time. Took forever to put in, but I can actually see clearly it's a game changer. My next big focus is dialing in my nutrition and training, getting everything locked in physically. Also turns out I actually like some older metal bands, who knew? My life has changed so much in the last month. Holy fucking shit. I've done the Blade. I'm about to finish it. I got contacts. I discovered some kick-ass music, I guess. Got my nutrition back on point, for the most part. Got my training back on point. Holy fuck, dude. In the last month? Wow, that's cool. That's some good reflection right there. What was once scary and uncomfortable now becomes an annoyance. If I don't make this work, it just makes my story better later. What is the one thing I can do such that... Oh, yeah. Holy shit, he can see. I probably have been seeming like a creep, but yeah, whatever. Turns out I actually like old metal. What the fuck? Wow, that was a month ago. That's pretty crazy. That was on February 18th, 2025. I guess I needed to specify the year there, huh? Anyway. All right, so... I think we're like 5 minutes into the show. Haven't said a goddamn word. Okay. So, yeah, I'm very excited to finish the Blade-2. I'm very excited to also start Blade-2. So, with Blade-2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it all about my business and growing this, and everything is going to be about it. So, if I were to just rough draft this shit real quick. My oath. So fucking. How about Apple Notes? How about don't bold and header the first line of every note? Maybe I just want to just scribble. I don't want all this horse shit. Actually, I know a hack. I didn't even. If you click the little, this is for MacBook users. If you click the make a checklist button and you just double click it, it'll put a checklist button there and then remove it, and then it'll get rid of all the bold headers. So we got oath, purge, crucible. What the fuck would my crucible be? Oath, purge, crucible. Oath, purge, crucible, and then rigor. So if I were to just rough draft these, and I'm not committing right now. Also, I've polished off more rules. I believe if you commit to the tasks, so I could commit to these tasks right now, but then change them later. But the day that I complete one full day of these 4 tasks is the day that I prove to myself that it's possible, because I did it one day. All I have to do is replicate that 29 more times. So I wouldn't say it's a new rule, but it's just a clarification. When you commit to these tasks, you're part of it, whatever. But the day you complete one is when you're locked in and you can't change it. So before that, you can change it. Once you complete one day, you're locked in. And that's what I like that. So getting clarification. So, I mean, the program has been around for 2 months, if that. 3 months, well, actually been 3 or 4 months. What's all this shit on my laptop? It's been a little bit longer. That's crazy to think about, but it's still in the early stages, so I'd like to think that it's still in development, and I'm still polishing things off. But also, I'm in my kitchen, sitting at my bar right now with my laptop, because I've been kicking it downstairs. I haven't really done shit upstairs today, because I came home from work and then pretty much just meal prepping. So, anyway. So, if I were to rough draft the Blade-2, the oath would be to adhere to something. Purge would be to remove. Crucible would be very hard. Okay, so if I were to do something regarding my business and growing it and doing stuff that pertains to the business, which, the role play absolutely helps, but it got so fucking annoying. I didn't realize how annoying it would be. Also didn't realize how repetitive ChatGPT is. Now, obviously, I could have done this with a real human being, fully aware. That was part of the rules I made. But trying to schedule that in with somebody and then only do one side of it, I think would be more tricky. And because I need more time than ever, I just rolled with ChatGPT. So the oath for adherence. I'm thinking of doing, so how I have it right now is, I have the role play, but then I have to write one thing I did well, 2 things I did bad, and then change something in the script. So that's the oath. Right? That's the whole thing. So it's not like role play. It's role play, reflect on how I did, write something I did good on, 2 things I did bad on, tweak the script just a little bit. Now, in retrospect, I'm so fucking glad that I did that. Also, that's what I was going to say. Hold on. So pause on this. The reason why I was talking about the whole month is because of reflection, is because I didn't want to start the Blade up again, because I didn't feel like I was, I just got my wisdom. I got my wisdom tooth out, I don't know, a month, so 2 months ago, something like that. And then being, I was just feeling like shit all around. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do role plays again. I don't want to, fuck it, we have to start, we got to go. And I did. So that's a good feeling, because now, 4 weeks later on the dot, I'm very thankful that I made that decision. Just 1 month ago. Just 1 month. And I'm feeling good. I'm very thankful that I made that decision. Which is, I think it's something that I need to pay more attention to. I feel good that I made a decision that I didn't want to do a month ago, today. So today, let me reword that. A month ago, I didn't want to make this decision to do this. Fast forward a month, I'm very grateful that I did. Makes me wonder how many other things in life are that exact same way, that I do not want to do now, but later in life will be so thankful that I did. That's what the whole month of reflection idea or thought process was about. So anyway, pretty cool. So anyway, that's the whole role play process. That's what I do. So the oath would be something to do with, I'll call it a social media bundle. And that would be, if I'm going to commit to this, I want to make it hard, right? Because that's the point. Post 3 times a day. Well, hold on. Because what I had in mind for my Crucible was to record 2 videos per day talking on my Instagram story about whatever. But that would break me out of my comfort zone more, because I don't want to do that for sure. Now, Crucible is supposed to be something that's very fucking hard for you. It's brutal. You know, an ice bath would fall into that category. Now, would I rather record myself talking on Instagram or do an ice bath? Some days it would rather be an ice bath. So what the fuck is going on? So I think, dude, I got greasy fucking hands or what? The left side of my palm on my left hand is just, it's just dripping avocado oil or something like that, because it's just on my laptop. What's going on? Okay, so I think going and recording myself talking on Instagram, that would just warm me up, because I'm going to do it for 30 days straight, do it twice a day. That's crazy. That'd be a lot, and I think I would get a lot of, I'd get warmed up quite a bit, because I'd be doing it every day, you know? That'd make me feel better about talking in front of the camera. So that would be the Crucible. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually. So I'm just going to write an idea, and so talk on social stories times a day. So that'd be the Crucible. Now the purge would be that social media bundle. So that would be post 3 times a day. That'd be 2 reels, 1 post. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is so 2 times 2 posts. Let's see, what am I doing here? So 3 posts times 3 is 21 for the week. So maybe I'll say 11 reels, 10 posts. 11 reels, 10 posts per week. And the reason why I want to do this is because it indirectly makes it so that I have to create a shitload of content per week. So getting photos, I believe, is very simple. Making the reels is where it requires some time and effort. But I think if I just got in the habit of posting consistently and putting stuff out there, even if I don't think it's the best, I think that would be really good for my state of mind. Because I get really caught up in the paralysis by analysis, and I don't do shit, which is so contradictory of my whole just start mantra. But yeah, so 11 reels divided by 7. So some days there's 2 reels, some days, we're going to change that. We're going to go 12 reels, 9 posts. The reason for that is because 7 days or 4 days out of the week we could do 2, so it'd be a total of 8. And then, or I guess 5 days we would do 2, and then 2 days out of the week we would do 1. That'd be 12 total. Gives me 2 days of a quote cushion, so that if I don't have the reel or whatever, I could do 2 posts. Because the posts are easy, I can bang out a lot of those. I can do quotes, I can make my own memes. So those, if I just sat down and made time for it, I would be able to make it work. But I'm thinking big picture here. So me making or being required to post all this content and create it and stuff, that's a pain in the ass for sure. But if I did it consistently for 30 days, where would I be? Like, would I gain 100 followers? Would I get more recognition on social media? Would I get more people sliding into my DMs? What would that look like? Because if I'm posting 3 times a day, that's 90 more posts in the next 30 days. And I think it's cool. And I think big picture, that would be very good for me to do. And that combined with the Crucible of talking on social stories twice a day, that would get me, yeah, that'd be great. But not just about posting, it would also I would also want to include some kind of, that wouldn't be my purge, that would be my oath. What the fuck am I doing? Oath. Post 3 times a day, 12 reels time per day. And let's see. Well, let's come back to that. Then we have the purge. So I'm trying to make this Blade cycle strictly about business and grow my shit, because I'm going to segue out of this for a sec. But the more that I have days that are more difficult, the more that I realize that I think I have the wrong expectation and the wrong expectation overall for the path in life that I chose. Because a lot of days go by and I'm sitting there doing my thing, and I'm like, this fucking blows, dude. I'm not making any progress. Nobody's looking at my stuff. I'm not making any money. I'm paying $500 a month to be part of this mastermind. Not really even, using it to the best of my ability right now. I committed to these things that aren't, directly in line with what I'm trying to do. Like the role play, absolutely. But, I'm trying to read these books, and for a while, and I say this example, I don't focus on these things much, but, I have the other podcast. I have the newsletter. It's got 8 subscribers on it. I haven't sent one out yet. I got this podcast that I do have committed to is top priority, I would say. And then we've got, trying to hit the gym every day, trying to meal prep, make sure I'm eating all my foods. I got to take care of my job. I have a wonderful and amazing girlfriend that I want to spend time with. I'm trying to do all these things, and I'm trying to figure out what things I can absolutely just chop and get more time back from, or just not focus on whatsoever. And I know for a fact that would help the whole state of mind, because I'm just going to pull numbers out of my asshole here, but let's just say that there's 30 hours in it. We'll just do simple math. Let's say there's 10 hours in a day. I spend 6 of those working, okay? And then it's like a total of another 2 hours are spent trying to read this book and learn about this so I can make a podcast about it, or write this thing for a newsletter or whatever. Now, those things are great and they're very helpful, and it's a great thing to do long term. It's a long term play for sure. Like having an email and newsletter, great thing to do. But if you can't be consistent with it, then I guess probably shouldn't do it. I also said it was going to be daily, so that was my first problem. I think called it the Daily Excellence Newsletter, or whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't call it a newsletter. The idea is something like Andygram, just something short and sweet. Could be a workout, could be some kind of nutrition hack, whatever you want to call it, or some kind of mindset thing, client spotlight, you name it. Now, if I were to just sit down and do it, I absolutely could, because I recorded 7 podcast episodes of the Allegiant Excellence podcast in about an hour and a half, I believe. No, it was about 2.5 hours. That's what it was. And so if I were to just play this out in my head, every Saturday I record 7 podcasts of the Allegiant Excellence podcast, and I write 7 newsletters, and then right? That should take me 4 hours total. So if I wake up at 5, it takes me an hour to get going. 6 to 10, all that's done for the week. And I have from 10 to 6. I have another 8-hour shift ahead of me to work on whatever else I want. But what I'm trying to get at here is, rather than even thinking about that stuff, what if I just went all in on learning more about the exact thing that I'm working on, and also forcing myself to do things that revolve around that thing, which for me is growing this business, because I'm so in my head about so much, and it's not good. It's not good at all. I don't want this to happen anymore. I have so many things I want to do in life, but I have nothing to show for it. I have a lot of ambition, but again, nothing to show for it. I have this podcast. It's got 519 episodes, 515 episodes in a row. Haven't missed a single day. And that's cool. Fun fact, real quick, I just want to put on record. I recorded episode 1 and then skipped a day, and then recorded episode 2, and then I think I skipped a day. And then I recorded episode 3. So it's not 500. Wait, what the fuck happened? I didn't name the show yesterday. What the hell? So it's not 515 days in a row. It's probably like 513. But I just want to put that on record. So there you go. Also, I don't really give a fuck. I've recorded 515 in a row. So yeah, I mean, it's cool that I have 515 in a row. Something that I think about often is, it's probably going to be like 2,000 episodes before I have the podcast in my head of what I want this show to be about. Like, okay, woke up today, here's what's on the agenda, let's do it. And then I come back at the end of the show. I'm like, okay, I did it. Did this, sold 4 clients, made $5,000 a day, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, like what Mina's doing in my head, that's like 1,500 episodes away. To have the team, to be leading these team discussions, to be having all these clients, to be hiring people. That's cool. So in my head, it's going to be like, yeah, so first 2,000 podcast episodes, it's just me kicking rocks. After that is when I started gaining traction. And what's crazy about that is 2,000 episodes, that's almost 7 years worth. I think it's actually 6 years worth. Yeah, it's like 6 years and what is that? Siri, what is 2,000 divided by 365?
The answer is approximately 5.4794.
Oh, I fucking blow a math, huh? So 5.5 years. And that's a quarter of the way through this goal of mine of doing this until 7,305. It's going to be a crazy day when we get there. It's going to be October 19th or something like that, 2043. That's crazy. Anyway, where was I going with that? I don't really know where I was going with that, but what I was trying to end up at was this shit is tough, dude. And I think I just have had this false expectation that it was going to be easier because I had a plan laid out. I'm part of a mastermind. I have a nice setup. I have all the time in the world. And yeah, I guess in certain aspects, I do have it easier than somebody who might be a dad with a couple kids or married, working 2 jobs. I don't know. I probably have it way easier than a lot of people. That doesn't make the whole journey easy. It's still fucking hard. And I think if I just shift my mentality to, yeah, for this season of life, it's going to fucking blow asshole every single day. But I have to do that until I make it out. I think I just have to adopt that whole belief. Because here's where that thought came from tonight, for example. So I'm meal prepping, and I don't like meal prepping. It's just fucking hate it. I'd rather starve, truthfully, than, so then I get in my head of, oh, dude, I'm supposed to be a fitness coach and help people with their weight loss goals and muscle building goals. How the fuck can I hate the most basic fundamental of all of weight loss, which is cooking food to support the journey? How could I hate that? It's like being a bodybuilder, but hating the gym, hating meal prep, hating, it's like, what the fuck you doing then? But anyway, so I'm meal prepping. It took not that much time to do one. So I made 10 meals. It was this barbecue meatball, rice, potato, onion, pinto bean shit. It's very good, actually. I was just eating that. It's right here. But as if you needed to hear that I was eating it. But I made 10 meals because the idea was make 10 of those and then make about 15 meals of the high protein mac and cheese because I found a recipe that I liked. And that'd give me 25 meals. And then I was going to make this oatmeal bake thing. And so I made a big mess with all the stuff for the first meal prep. And that took the whole process of cooking and preparing was about an hour and a half, which was fucking awesome. I was so pumped about that. And then it took me another half hour to clean everything because I needed to use a lot of the same stuff for the macaroni and the oatmeal bake. And then I get everything cleaned, and it took a little bit longer than I thought. But anyway, I get everything clean, and then I click on this video to do this oatmeal bake because I was like, okay, so it's super simple. Mix the ingredients, put it in the oven, and then I just wait. While that's doing that, I'll cook the pasta and do all that. And I clicked on the oatmeal video and totally forgot that I didn't buy some of the ingredients. And the recipe calls for vanilla whey protein. And first of all, maybe this is very, what's the word? Non-popular opinion. If I have to put protein powder into a recipe and it says that it's high protein, I just disagree wholeheartedly. I'm looking for whole food options that make protein higher. I can make any food in the world and then add 18 scoops of protein and call it high protein. That's not what I want. So I hate when people say, oh, this is a high protein enchilada but they just put some unflavored protein in the enchilada. I fucking hate that. So, and it's just one thing I overlooked with this oatmeal recipe. You put in 4 scoops of protein in this. What the fuck is that noise? I don't have my mic, so you guys should be able to hear some of this shit. I don't know. But yeah, 4 scoops of this oatmeal bake. What it is, you mix oatmeal and eggs and flour and bananas and protein powder, all this stuff together, and you put it in the oven, and it comes out, and it's really nice. You put some of this chocolate syrup drizzle shit on top of it. It's yummy. It's supposed to be over 1,000 calories for bulking, over like 40 grams of protein, something like that per serving. Something. And I was like, oh, perfect. And I clicked on it, watched it all the way through. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude. But when I went to go prepare it today, it called for 4 scoops of 4 scoops of protein powder, vanilla. I don't have vanilla. I've got chocolate. But I doubled all these. So I'd be doing 8 scoops of protein. Eat my ass. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not. 8 scoops. No. Because in my head, this is how I'm looking at it in my head. So when I go to the gym, I have 2 scoops of protein powder directly after my workout. I don't know if it's the greatest thing to do it right after a workout. There's a whole thing about it, and it's probably still a thing. You have the anabolic window. Right after your workout is when you can absorb the most protein and utilize the most. It's the best time. The more you work out, the more experience you have, the shorter that window is. So it's just best to get more protein in right after workout. And I've more or less just said, I'm just going to get my protein in, and I'm going to get it in. And however I get it in, it's okay. But I've just always been in the habit ever since I started to have a protein shake right after I get off the gym. And so that's 2 scoops. It's double scoop. So that's 2 scoops right there in a day. And if I buy a container, that's 80 servings. That right there is 40 days worth of protein. If I throw in another scoop, because if I'm doing double the servings and I have 10 days of this oatmeal bake with 8 scoops of protein, then that's an extra 8 scoops a week. So, or 8 scoops for 10 days, I guess. So you could just chalk it up. We'll just round it up. 3 scoops a day? No. No. I'm not doing that. So anyway, all that to say, came across the video, started watching it, and said 4 scoops of whey protein. But I was like, oh, fuck. And then I felt kind of defeated because it was later. And I was like, dude, I don't really, I still have to roll, because this is around 7:15. It's now 8:30. And I was like, dude, I still gotta role play. I still gotta record a podcast. I gotta finish preparing this food. Gotta get stored in the fridge. I gotta clean up because all my counters were fucking dirty. All the rice and shit was on the floor because your boy can't cook. Also spilled pepper, so that's awesome. All over the floor. It was great. And anyway, so fuck. Sorry. So just bummed. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in my head, I was going to come home, meal prep, and get all that done and have all my meals good for the next 2 weeks and just be good. Turns out I only did 10 meals, which is always better than nothing, you know. So if I go, so today I had one, so now I have 9 left. So we go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That should take me, because I'm probably not going to have one when I see Lexi. We usually go out. We have date night, and it's fucking awesome. So probably won't have one there. So that'll take me to Thursday, which means in 2 Fridays, I will have, so not this Friday, but next, I guess, I'll have to meal prep again, which is perfect timing. But that's only for 1 meal. The whole goal is to have 2 meals. So I have the one that I take to work and then the one that I have after work. Because, I don't know, it seems like when I go home from the gym, after work, I'm just so gassed. So gassed. And I think if I were to just eat another big meal, I'd feel much better. Also, I clocked in at 201 today, 201 pounds. And I don't remember, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just because I started taking training very serious again. And I started eating well, or I guess eating enough again. But yeah, and I was telling Lexi about this. I was like, maybe that's why my knees fucking hurt, because all of a sudden I have 20 extra pounds on me. Because I was like 180-ish because I did that intermittent fasting cut, the 16-week cut. I recorded all the podcast episodes are on this. I don't know. I don't know what episode it is. Going on a 16-week cut or 12-week. It was 16 weeks cut. 16-week cut. I did intermittent fasting. It was great. I learned that I like to do that. Anyway, I got down to the low 180s. I think I floated around 185 for a while. But now being 200, I don't know. That's cool, I guess. I don't remember. It's just weird because it's almost like, is my scale broken? How the fuck did I gain 15 pounds like that? Because I'm not overeating by any means, not even close. I am training very hard, and that's a good feeling. This is probably the best training I've had in a while. Tracking all my lifts and doing all that. It's feeling good. But there's no way, because in order for me to assume that this weight is because I'm taking training serious, would then mean that it's muscle. And it's not all muscle, because I didn't just gain 15 pounds of muscle over the last 2 months. I didn't. I know there's a lot of muscle memory there, because I was once a bigger guy, and then I lost a lot of weight and muscle because I just fell off the wagon quite hardcore, and not a fan. So I think the anniversary of me falling off hardcore was, let's see, it had to have been in May of 2020. I don't know. Or 2019. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? So anyway, what I'm really trying to get at here is shit's not going as planned, and it's making me frustrated, and it's just hard. It's very hard. And I get in my head about it a lot. And again, I just came to this conclusion that I'm just going to have to accept that I'm not going to get all my sleep all the time. Whenever I can, I will. I'm not going to have all my meals prepped the way that I want all the time. I'm not going to have the perfect workout all the time. I'm not going to have perfect string of days where I'm 100% on everything all the time. And I have to get just so okay with that. And I have to be okay with things not going to plan. And I have to just keep my composure and not get stressed out and freak the fuck out. Because usually, and this is pretty cool because this didn't happen today, but usually what happens is I'll expect something to happen or go one way. If it doesn't, I get stressed out, I get pissed off, I get quiet, and I'm like, fuck this, dude. It was supposed to, Not that I'm so angry at the world that it was supposed to or should have, but it's like, well, now I have to do X, Y, or Z because it didn't work the first time or whatever, or now I have to come back later, or I have to go and say this again, whatever. And that's how it is. That's how it is for me. But while I was meal prepping, I had some Alex Hormozy playing, and there's just a video talking about business and just general business stuff. And he talks about the woman in the red dress a lot, which for him is essentially just looking for, he's got distractions that are in place. Fun fact, the first date that Lexi and I went on, she was in a red dress. Very pretty, by the way, but she was in a red dress. And I'm like, Alex told me to stay away from this. And so look at us now, almost a year later. Fun fact, so we started talking in March of last year. So it's officially been a year of talking, but May would be the official year of dating, which is so crazy. Time has flown by. But anyway, yeah, first date, she wore a red dress, and I thought, I need you out of my life. So she's only made it better, just to clarify. But anyway, so yeah, I think that I just need to accept that I'm just gonna have to make sacrifices, because I'm always wanting to go to bed on time. I'm always wanting to, and I think that I just need to come to terms with the fact that I'm almost upset of how difficult it is for me now. But I think it's difficult because I'm not making the necessary trades and investments in my time to do anything, because truthfully, I could be doing 100 times more and better and pushing myself more and more and more, but I'm not. And so the reason is why, and I think the reason is because I don't truly believe that it's what I need to do right now. There's no conviction there for me. So it's almost like, which is a paradox, because it's like my life is not how I want it to be, but I believe my actions are going to get me there. It's kind of stupid. So I don't know, just kind of talking out loud or thinking out loud. So that's what this whole podcast is about. But Yeah. So going back to the whole, making this whole Blade about business only, I'm just like, what if I just focus so hard and force myself to do all these things that pertain to the one goal? So what if I just put the other podcast on hold or whatever? I got to it whenever I got to it. I don't care. Pause the newsletter. Didn't even think about it. Didn't even think about, how I'm going to respond to this or make this or whatever. I'm just going to make a shit ton of content and just put it out. What would that do in 30 days? Now, the other thought is the likelihood that and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but the likelihood that I fail with these hefty requirements, these hefty asks of myself, the likelihood that I fail, I would say is higher than, it's more likely than not, I would say. Because to make 21 pieces of content per week and then to go on social media and talk on my Instagram stories twice a day and to whatever my purge would be. So I'd have to remove something. That would have to be, what would I remove? Take out of my life. Part of me wants to remove distractions, and that would be in the form of when I'm working on whatever, phone goes in the other room. Don't even look at it. If I'm distracted for longer than 30 seconds, if I catch a video on the computer or if whatever, then I fail, just straight up, because focus for sure, 100% has got to be, I need to focus on being focused. Haha. But, something like that. But anyway, so if I have to make 21 pieces of content per week, post 3 per day, that's going to force me to pay so much attention to social media and, but like the content that I produce. And I'm going to have 90 things to gauge feedback off of in the next month. So if we look at my Instagram now, also fun fact, since downloading Instagram and Facebook, which I think is 3 or 4 days ago. Or, no, what the fuck? It was 2 days ago. Yesterday. No. 2 days ago. I don't have them on my home screen. They're buried in the far right screen of an iPhone, the app library, whatever. So I have to swipe all the way over to get it. So I don't see it. So it's out of sight, out of mind. I think I got rid of social media long enough for me to get out of the habit of just clicking on the folder that all my apps are in to then watch or to then click on the app and then. So anyway, what the fuck was I doing? Oh yeah, so I have 145 posts. So let's put this into perspective. So I have 145 posts, and my first post on this account was August 31st. Siri, how many days ago was August 31st, 2024?
It was 198 days ago.
So 200 days to post 145 times. I could essentially get, let's see, what would that be? That'd be 75% roughly. Or would that be 75? Yeah, 75%. I could post 75% more in 1/7 of the time. So to put it into that perspective, I've had this account since August 31st or whatever it said. And I've posted 145 times. I'm going to post 90. I don't know. That would give me so much feedback. Hopefully at least one video picks up some kind of traction. When I say traction, anything more than like 1,000 would be cool for me. Because my highest at the moment, I think it's actually the video I made with Lexi. Let's see. Yeah, it's a video I made with Lexi. I said, if you're a short king, here, look.
If you're a short king with no ego, I got a little tip for you. Grab the top plate of the stack, pull it upward, and then insert the pin where you normally would. That lowers where the handle is, and you can grab it, no problem. If you're...
It's funny because it also doesn't have me in it whatsoever. It's only Lexi. So I like to credit my beautiful girlfriend for giving me 3,000 views. So the ones that do have me in them, my highest is 1,958. Yeah. All the rest, I'm averaging like 100, 200, 300. Sometimes not even 100. It sucks because I feel like I put in the effort and I feel like they're good pieces of content, but I guess they just don't hit. So that's kind of shitty.
Life is all about phases.
Oh, let's watch this. This pertains.
Life is all about phases. So one, there's phases of winning, there's phases of losing. And if you're in a winning phase right now, and whoever your audience member is right now, they're listening to this, if you're in a losing phase right now, don't worry, the winning phase is around the corner. And if you're in a winning phase, the losing phase is right around the corner. And both of those are needed, as it turns out. And I'm learning that more than ever now, having been in the CEO of a fitness franchise during COVID, and now we're on the upswing again, building our franchise back up. But we need the losing seasons and the winning seasons, and whatever season you're in, the other one's just around the corner.
Thanks, Bedros. Cool. Okay. So anyway, that's this podcast has gone on way too long. But yeah, I think I'm just going to have to come to terms with no sleep, no shit like that, and just be... just for the time being. You know, life might get shittier. Life might get way better if I just come to terms with this shit, you know? I mean, Alex Mosey talks about it all the time. You know, when you sign up for this shit, you know it's not going to be easy. You know that it's going to be hard. And guess what? This is exactly what it is. This is very hard. This is what hard feels like. Expectations are met. Boom. Like, connect the dots. Those are his words, not mine. So don't think that I said that. But yeah. And I think I try to think of every solution possible outside of just addressing the goddamn issue. So, for example, I work on paper 9 hours per day, but from 4:30 when I leave to go to work to, we'll say, 3 o'clock when I get home, that is 10 and a half hours. So work 10 and a half hours every day. And I'm like, what if I just went back to FedEx and my average shift was 6 to 7 hours, you know? So that gets me 3 hours back per day. I'm actually making more money take home, and probably like $20 more a paycheck actually. But what if I just did that? And what if I was able to, you know, but then I think, how about I just focus and then work on shit? How about I just, you know, do what I say I'm going to do, make the content, and do the shit that I don't want to do, you know? Here's another thought, and that, you know, hopefully people hear this and they resonate with it. I don't think people will, because people really look like the victim card. But for a second there, I was entertaining the idea that I might have ADHD because I can't focus on shit, and it's so hard for me to do things that I don't want to do. But then I thought, like, the next thought that I have every time is like, no, dude, you just can't stay focused on shit because you're always on your phone. You're always looking at this. You're not in control of your body. Like, something comes across and you want to look at it, you drop everything you're doing to look at it. Or you go on YouTube to type in meal prep videos for whatever, and then there's a suggested thing of, you know, the Lakers score 30 points in overtime or whatever, and you click on it. It's just the lack of discipline and lack of focus in the moment. And I believe that if I just train myself to not give in to those really short, quick hits of dopamine and the desires to look at these videos or to play chess or whatever, that I'll rewire my brain to make it not so susceptible to falling into that trap. I truly believe that, because, and I'm not saying that people don't have ADHD, but it just seems like everybody does now. And I'm like, well, we all are on our phones 24/7. We all are scrolling on social media 24/7, you know? The average video, whatever, that goes viral, I don't know, we'll just say it's 30 seconds long, and then you have 3 seconds to catch somebody's attention with a hook for Instagram or for any kind of video. So we're just boom, 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 scrolling, thumb. No wonder why our attention spans are so low, because we're always looking for that next boom of that hit of dopamine. We're always looking for that next, trying to get high, right, off the dopamine. So no fucking wonder, you know? And so rather than trying to go to a doctor and get into a diagnosis and get put on medication, why the fuck would I do that? Why wouldn't I just try my absolute best to make sure that I'm in control of my own shit and I don't have to rely on some pill that's going to balance my whatever imbalances that I have going on in my head? Fuck all that, dude. I think that's why I've such a disconnect from so much shit out there, because I'm like, dude, just work harder, focus more, be less distracted. And it's very much so easier said than done. Like, work harder, be less distracted. But truthfully, so there's this thing, I don't know, I can't remember who said it. I've said it a lot, but if you take an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever, and then you fly them out to this private island, and it's a whole new life out there, and there's no alcohol or there's no drugs or whatever their addiction might be, they won't ever relapse. They won't ever have that problem, because the thing that is derailing them, or that is the poison, or that is the distraction, whatever, it doesn't exist. It's just not there in this hypothetical scenario. So you take an alcoholic, put him on an island with no alcohol, he's never going to drink again, problem solved. So if we're distracted so hardcore by our phones, put the fucking phone in a safe, set a timer, and then come get it in 8 hours or whatever. No distractions. You don't have it. It's impossible. Now again, hypothetical, a lot of this shit's unrealistic, but the principle and the point stands. Like when people say, I'm a perfect example of this. I took a break from social media, deleted the apps. I don't have to delete the apps to not open them. I can just choose to not open them. I can choose, hey, no, there's Instagram and Facebook. Don't need to look at anything right now, so I'm not going to, and then not click it. I get it. Easier said than done to not do that. But we don't have to do that. People, like for example, we have smartphones. A lot of people want to go back to flip phones because there's less distraction. It's easier. There's nothing going on, all these notifications, all this shit going on, all this demand for your attention. But you don't have to use those as is. People, here's a perfect example. Old people have smartphones. They don't know how to use shit on it. And so they don't have a problem, they're holding their phone, fully extended, and they got their glasses with their, bifocals. Their head is facing the ceiling, but their eyes are facing the phone, and they're trying to navigate it with their tip of their pointer finger of the opposite hand. They don't know shit about these smartphones. And so they don't have the problem of all these distractions and notifications or whatever. They're probably still doing crosswords on paper. And this is not a dig at them. I'm just saying it's that we don't have to. We all have smartphones. And if you're listening to this right now, you don't have to listen to this podcast. If you have a problem listening to the podcast, you don't have to. If you have a problem going on Spotify or on Instagram or Facebook and scrolling, you don't have to. You just do it because you're not thinking, I guess. But what if you were just more aware? First step in solving any problem is realizing there is one. And I think the problem is people don't realize there is a problem. And I think it's very evident because people don't. You can just learn so much from the types of questions people ask, because the types of questions people ask comes from the line of thinking that people have. And the line of thinking that people have comes from the desires and the ambitions of themselves that they want to be real or true for them in their lives. And that applies to almost every area of life, I think. Like at work, someone's asking a question about blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, they're asking that question because their intent is this. They have a goal of this. They have an objective of that. So that's a really good question. And it's ironic because when you start asking questions, especially in a work setting, people look at you like you're dumb. And it's like, no, I want to learn more. My goal is not to get the right answer. My goal is to have a deep understanding of the material so that the right answer is, it could maybe even be seen as the less right answer because there's an even better one. When you understand the whole field or the whole subject or the whole material, you gain a deep understanding of that thing rather than just knowing, yeah, the answer is whatever. Because everybody can memorize. They need to make all tests in school, all kind of exams like that, all things for every profession, any job, oral exam. So no multiple choice, none of that shit. Go sit down face to face with the teacher. They're going to ask you a question. You're going to say it out loud. That should be how it is, because when you have multiple choice, you're given a percentage chance to get the shit right or to get the shit wrong. 25% chance that you get it right. 75% chance you get it wrong. But there's still a chance. And people pass and people get higher scores because they guess. And guessing is not good. So you can't even guess. You couldn't do these shits with an oral exam, with the bubbles, you can guess for sure, but you're not going to have 3 other suggestions, And it's funny because then you have these test questions that are like, what's 5 plus 5? And it's like, the answers are like, apple, car fluid, fridge, 10. And it's like, oh, it's got to be 10 then. And a lot of tests are designed that way. Anyway, I don't know, dude. This is very off topic, but we're going to school and shit for things in life that we're trying to accomplish. And it's like, so many people don't have degrees whatsoever, but they're killing it in life. So what do they have or know that the people who are spending all this money and time to get an education have, or that they don't have, or whatever? And that got me thinking, like, well, what if every job just had, like, who gives a fuck about? And I'm not talking about a doctor. I'm not talking about this shit. So use your head here. But what if we just got rid of all degrees and qualifications and certifications and shit? And if you feel like you're qualified for the job, you sit down face-to-face, oral exam or interview or whatever, and they say, hey, what about this? Do you know anything about this? And you say, yeah, this is that, blah, 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 I've done this. And then that's it. Like, you don't have to go to school. You don't have to go to the people who should be, because there's so many. Hold on, this is perfect. This is perfect. I wrote this shit when I wrote this shit September, listen to this. I wrote this, I'm going to read it. It's I guess a poem that I wrote. I wrote this shit September 6th, 2015. I wrote this shit almost 10 years ago. Okay? I can't believe I wrote this when I was 17. 17 years old when I wrote this. Okay, ready? Stay close to your dreams is what I called it. Isn't it, okay, also keep in mind I'm 17, but isn't it crazy we go day in and day out? Okay, isn't it crazy we go day in and day out with a goal and a dream? Or is it depressing that nearly none of us even have a dream to be seen? Or the fact that new inventions and superior innovation are trapped inside the mind of those who can't afford an education. We are greater than we give ourselves credit for, and zero acknowledgement is what is seeming to be the norm. The success from those who succeed goes to show the truth that hard work and dedication is indeed the way through. Sluggish acts and unwilling work is a sure route to failure, but failure is not a term that we can use if we're trying to paint a perfect picture. Give it your all and do not give up, for you can be recognized for doing what you love. The negativity from those around you and ignorance leaked is a sure sign of jealousy and greed. Isn't it sad that the dreams of those around you cannot be shared, for the fear of being judged by their peers is too much to be bared? Passion is beautiful, and so are you. Follow your dreams and see them through. I wrote that shit when I was 17 years old, and the reason why I share that now, because I think it plays right into the fact that new inventions and superior innovation are trapped inside the mind of those who can't afford an education. What if we just abolished that whole fucking thing and said, hey, you don't need a degree, you don't need to go to school for 8 years and pay all this money and go into debt. You can just learn it. However you do that, up to you. Prove that you know the material, and then we'll hire you. And that way you can do your thing. I think the world would be 10 times better if we abolish the whole education bullshit, the traditional school system, going into debt, going to school for 4, 6, 8, 12 years to get a piece of paper that says, hey, I'm qualified. What if you just learned it however you could, whatever the route or the resources you took to get there? Who gives a fuck, dude? Because what's important is that you know the answer. It's not how you get the answer. Oh, my Lord, dude. Important thing is that you know the material enough to do the thing that you're trying to do. That you know the information. And to say that, oh, he doesn't know, he got the right answer, but he didn't have a degree, or he doesn't have certification or whatever. He didn't go to this university. It's like, who gives a fuck about any of that, dude? If he knows how to do the job and he can do the job well, and he's got the experience and he's learned whatever it is, that's what should matter, you know? Oh, he's not 80 grand in debt, so we can't hire him. Fuck. Shit, he didn't waste 6 years of his life. Fuck, so we can't hire him. Now again, a lot of careers out there, you need your education, you need to go to school. I would rather somebody knows exactly what they're doing. If I have surgery, that's, obviously, if there's someone's taking care of me with medical or whatever, I don't know, man. That's just very off topic, very random, but I guess it's not really, I just segued off, but it's all about the questions that you ask rather than the answers that you give. I'm always looking for a better way to do this or to do that. I'm always asking how can, not making a statement that it can't. And I just think we need more of that. So anyway, I don't know how I got on topic with that. I did not mean to make the show an hour long, but it felt good to rant a little bit. So thanks for listening. Remember that one time I said all these episodes are going to be 1 minute long? Haha. Okay. Well, I was all over the place on this one, but if you haven't already, leave a rating on the show. Helps a lot. You'll hear about that in the outro, but that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Thanks for supporting the show. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
That's it for today. If you got some sort of value or you were entertained, please consider leaving a rating on the platform that you're listening on. It helps a ton. If you are looking for a more polished version of this show, you can check out the Allegiant Excellence podcast, where I go deep into mindset, discipline, fitness, and personal development as a man. And don't forget to check out the links below and read the description. There are sometimes things written there that didn't quite make it on the episode. So thank you so much for your ongoing support and a guy that has massive ambition but nothing to show for it quite yet. And as always, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen and support. I'll see you tomorrow.